Hello, and welcome to Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures once again. It's great to have you all on board, and I hope you're comfortable, relaxed, feet up and having a cuppa. Well, I've just spent the best part of 2 hours here digging through my lovely raised beds in the little covered greenhouse, soon to be. It's great to have you here. Enjoy today's show. Yes, as I just said, 2 hours worth of digging through the raised beds. This one on this side actually has been sifted, if the word, as you saw me in the last episode with my little blue tray. This one, I've just dug it out and it's not been sifted, although I've gone through really methodically from one side right to the very other side. And that's brilliant. About 3 metres worth on both sides. So 6 metres of growing space, which is fantastic. As I said, this side I might actually put things into the soil here, but we'll see. The exciting news is my polytunnel cover, the heavy duty plastic, has turned up. A poor postman today, it weighed an absolute ton. In fact, shall I show you? Here we go. Here's a picture of the box. Isn't that exciting? Yes, a picture of a box. Doesn't get much more exciting than that. We've had lots of things out of it. In fact, give me a second. I'll just get up and I'll come back. Some of the things we've found today in the ground here, and this is fascinating. I'll take a closer look. This is a milk bottle, but it's actually a milk bottle that's smashed, yes, here, but actually the top part here is caved in as though it's just been squashed. So it's either been very, very hot at some time, and something's just, the soil maybe, it's been really hot, and it's actually, so I'm going to clean that up. And well, it's just fascinating how it's squashed rather than broken. Must, as I say, been really hot, and it's just melted, and it's got a dint in it. Interesting. And it tells you that who's, I think, Miller Distribution, I think that says, but we'll have a look at that when I get it cleaned up. Found a little football, a little plastic football. So some, I don't know, it's obviously too big for Subbuteo, but some sort of game, maybe, I don't know. But we found that also. Also found, which is intriguing actually, an old, oh, hello, that's my microphone come off. I'll put that back on, shall I? See if I can re-record the whole thing. And the other thing here is, oh, I've got a couple of ants as well. Better be careful with those. They look, oh, in fact, that is an ant's nest, in fact. But that, there, is a old-fashioned Bakelite adapter. Now I can't tell, it looks like it's a 3-pin adapter, but I say it's brown, it's Bakelite, right? I better get rid of those ants. Don't want those waking up. They look very, very sleepy, very, very tired. These are red ants, and red ants bite, so we'll get rid of those. Obviously found loads and loads of bindweed in there. Not as much as I thought actually, lots of slate, loads and loads of glass. So, but very exciting finds here on the allotment. It actually says, the bottle here, milk retailer, but it says Sheffield and District Milk Retailer, and it doesn't say whose it is, but it's just amazing. It's just absolutely squashed. Can you see that there? Look at that. Amazing. Glass, but squashed. Melted, in fact, I think it's the word. Fascinating. Never seen anything like it. Well, amazing what you find on the allotments. Back into the greenhouse for the moment, and well, a big surprise for me here on the allotment. This is some tarragon that I had left over from last year, French tarragon. It died off in the winter. It was in the other greenhouse, and well, I've just left it really. Been watered occasionally, but not too much. However, come down today, and the smell of tarragon was in there, just amazing. I've got 3 of these actually, and I should be going to the 2 later on because I think they're doing the same thing. In fact, here's a photograph while I talk. You can see all the brown debris that's going to be cut off, and I've started doing that. But here at the bottom, which I thought were weeds actually, there are some weeds in here which I should take out. Just pluck those out. They'll come out very, very easily. But also within this here are new tarragon shoots. Yes, I've got a whole brand new tarragon plant. Now, how do I know that? Well, because I tried to pull one out and it went straight back to the mother root. So it's sprouting from that. And isn't that fantastic? That means I'm going to get another tarragon plant from these. I've never had much luck with tarragon in the past, you know, regrowing afterwards. But in these here, they must love the soil, so we'll give it some feed anyway in the new season. But hopefully the next few weeks we'll get more shoots. All we've got to do, now you're back with me, not looking, is take off the old, and even the old, and you can't use that because it's brown and it's gone, is cut them as far to the soil as I can, as near to the soil as I can, which will give obviously the other new tarragon shoots plenty of life and plenty of light in order to grow. Now I'm going to re-water these, but there, look, we've got a lovely brand new exciting tarragon plant that's coming. What's interesting now, this has been inside the greenhouse, brand new compost, brand new with the tarragon, but look, somehow I've got grasses growing. It must have been in the original mix. So we've got grasses that are absolutely nothing to do with the tarragon. So they're going to come out difficult, I know, because it's actually sometimes embedded within the tarragon plant itself. But as I say, we'll get rid of those, probably even just cut that section off here rather than try and pull it out. And then everyone that comes up, we can get rid of those too. And well, what a good job done. And there we are, a brand new, lovely looking. Let's just take that piece out, take all the old debris off it. One more to go here with a bit of grass there. Take all this up and look at that. Can you believe it? Beautiful, beautiful. Old to new. Look at that. A fantastic French tarragon. Oh, it smells delicious already. I'm going to give that some water and we'll have some new tarragon. I keep saying new tarragon, don't I? But that's the exciting part. Right, I'll clear this up because time now is to start sowing some seeds. Yes, I put it off actually because it's been a little too cold. But in here now, within this growing frame behind me, I put a brand new shelf in here. It's a plastic tray. I put all the new tomatoes. I'm going to sow some tomatoes. Back with you shortly. Well, here we are in February now, and before the end of the show, I'm going to be planting and sowing some seeds, should I say. I always say planting, I don't know why. Yeah, we're sowing seeds. So, what I'm going to sow, I've got two types of tomato that can start sowing now, indoors from February onwards. In fact, this variety here that I got for a whole pound yesterday, yes, a whole pound reduced. Fantastic, isn't it? They could have gone in actually in January in a heated environment, and well, January through to March. So actually, you've got January, February, 3 months worth of sowing your seeds, so that it'll carry on obviously throughout the rest of the year. So you run out of one and continue if you want to, that is, of course. This is, it says it's obviously it's a hybrid quality, it says, which means obviously hopefully free of pests and diseases, all those things that try and genetically modify crop, really. Unfortunately, F1, as I've talked about before, may not be able to reproduce itself. So at the end of the season, you can't save your seeds because they might not come back because they have been bred in obviously a plant pot somewhere in the country, in the world, in fact. But it says they've got a heirloom flavour. So obviously they're trying to recreate the old-fashioned types, and it's an F1. So, well, it was a pound. RHS, Royal Horticultural Society, and it's one of their plants. Now, we've also got one here called a Mr. Stripey. It says on the packet very early crops from February onwards. February, March, April, May you can sow, and you should get them between July and October on your plants. Some go even later. You can keep going with tomatoes. I've got two types of tomatoes there, and then I've got a red cabbage and my chili peppers. Been really excited with the chili peppers. The ones I got last year were absolutely phenomenal, really nice. As I say, you can dry them, you can dehydrate them, you can store them in jars and use them later on, chopped up, and or even just as a whole. Beautiful, beautiful pepper. This is a hot one, and so cayenne. Oh, exciting! Right, let's get sowing. So, how do you do it? Well, you open the packet to start with. What I always find really irritating is they always want you to open the packet from the bottom, and it sounds silly, I know, but that's where the information is about where you've bought them and what time of year they were originally. And it says here, look, they were put in this packet in November 2024, and they've got till actually December 28. why they were £1. I mean, it's just unbelievable, isn't it? But that's what these DIY stores do. They buy them in. They're not really bothered about gardening. They've got other things to sell, like pots of paint and brushes and things like that. They have a little section. So in here, now it doesn't actually tell me in here. Normally, it'll say you have so many plants. Oh, average of only 10 seeds. So, oh, well, that's 10 pence each, then, isn't it? Rather than 23 pence each, which was the original price. So there should be 10. I'm not going to use all 10. There are. Here we are in here. Pop them in my hand here. I don't know whether you can see that. Obviously, tomato. They look like the seeds in the tomatoes. There we go. And I'm just going to have 2 per pot because I've got these new pots. Now, I'm not putting them very deep because I've talked about this before. Seeds are fantastic things. They come with their own food supply, their own fertilizers, and they lay dormant until, obviously, you pop them into the soil, if it won't stick to my finger. So I've got 2 per pot. There you go. 2, 4, 6, 8. In fact, I might put all 10 in. As I said, they've got their own seed supply. So that means that when you reawaken them, if it would go, there we are. I've got exactly 10 seeds. Look at that. Amazing. They've got just enough food stored within that little seed to get the first shoot through the soil and into the light. And once it's into the light, it takes its food and its strength, its source of life from light. And then how we water it, of course, helps, all those things. And then they can then generate themselves. But all that happens in the soil within the seeds. So if you plant them too deep in the soil, they haven't got enough food within them to get them over the finish line, as it were, to get them above the soil. So don't plant them too deep. Yep, they should then survive. Does it tell me here how deep? No. It just says, obviously, sow thinly and cover with a fine layer of soil. So it's always important to read the instructions if you're not too sure what you're doing. As I said, never plant a seed too deep. And well, let's see. 15 to 20 degrees, it says. Well, actually, in here, it's been up to 19. At night, it is 6.5, but that's in here. However, in here, it keeps the temperature really. In fact, what I might do, I'll move this gauge, we'll pop it inside and see how much warmer it is overnight. And well, that's my first tomatoes done. Now, this one doesn't come with a label, which is really not fair. So pop those nearby so I know which ones. However, I have got a free label on one of these. Oh yeah, look, my peppers. And I think it's a brilliant idea. So why don't most seeds do it? Give us some more of those labels. We love a good label. Right, I'm going to cover those up and I'm going to carry on with the rest of my seeds. Once again, thank you very much for watching Jeremy's Yorkshire Allotment Adventures. It's great to have you all on board. And I'll see you next time here on my Yorkshire Allotment. Ta-ra for now.